What will happen if all the oil on the Earth is exhausted? How will human life be affected? On the first day when oil ran out, our lives were not affected in any way. All transportation vehicles running at this time are using emergency fuel stored in advance. But these supplies are unlikely to last long. Gasoline prices skyrocket at gas stations 3 days after running out of oil. Many people are panic buying and hoarding fuel to cope with the uncertainty of the future. At this time, some flights and trains have begun to stop running. Supply chains relying on petroleum energy are directly disrupted, resulting in food and water shortages. When the oil runs out a week later, all the goods in the supermarket have been sold out. Electricity supply is also affected at this time. Frequent power outages begin around the world. This resulted in a large number of companies suspending production. Not only that, derivatives of petroleum involve every aspect of our lives. After lack of oil, all kinds of supplies are in shortage. 1 month after the oil is exhausted. Northern Hemisphere due to cold. Heating problems are getting worse. People began to look for firewood and other fuels to heat their homes. At this time, there is no fuel in the gas station. Cars powered by internal combustion engines become scraps. At this time, new energy vehicles have become the target of people's rush to buy. Prices started to skyrocket. 3 months after the oil is exhausted, all planes and trains are suspended. The logistics system is completely paralyzed. Economic stagnation will lead to massive unemployment and social unrest. The world is plunged into a huge energy crisis. When the oil is exhausted for half a year, agricultural production, which lacks machinery and fertilizers, has also been severely affected. Grain production decreased sharply. In case of lack of food, some humans choose to return to the countryside. Start growing food for yourself. Small farmer economy has become the mainstream of life. 1 year after running out of oil, countries around the world are becoming more and more independent. All ports are closed. In the breeding industry, due to the inability to buy feed, large numbers of livestock died. The diet structure of many countries has also undergone tremendous changes. Fast food products have become people's first choice. It is worth noting that people who stocked up on gasoline during the oil crisis. At this time, it was discovered that the gasoline had expired and could not be used. 10 years after running out of oil, the whole world seems to have returned to an era when it once lagged behind. The GDP of various countries has plummeted. The economy of the former Middle East oil power has already collapsed due to energy scarcity. Bicycles have become humans' primary arresting tool. 30 years after oil runs out, countries around the world finally realize the seriousness of the problem. The world began to convene frequent emergency meetings, seeking new energy sources to replace former oil and gas resources. 100 years after oil runs out, dense water conservancy projects have been established on the Earth. Wind and solar power plants temporarily solve a certain energy crisis. People also see hope in it. Trams reconnect people around the world. People's lives are gradually returning to normal. When the oil is exhausted 1,000 years later, although these energy sources provide the supply, however, it cannot completely replace various products and chemical raw materials covered by petroleum. So people began to aim at the solar system, using the abundant helium-3 resources on the moon to study controllable nuclear fusion technology. This is a completely clean energy, will not cause nuclear radiation. Harnessing helium-3 energy on the moon, humanity has successfully passed 10,000 years. When the oil is exhausted in 10,000 years, the resources on the moon have long been exhausted. Scientists decide to launch Dyson Sphere project. Use resources from other planets in the solar system. created a huge spherical network structure. The energy emitted by the sun, captured for human use. The life of the sun is estimated to be 5 billion years. It can be said, so far, mankind has completely solved the problem. Energy crisis after oil cutoff. From another perspective, although oil is an extremely important resource in modern society, but there will always be a day when it is exhausted. When oil runs out, the world will experience an unprecedented energy crisis. But it will also prompt humans to seek innovation and breakthroughs, research and develop new energy technologies. Today's research, development and promotion of new energy, preparing for the inevitable future oil depletion.